entertain us, because I'm not too sure we're going to be anywhere near that conversation unless we do have a good plan in action, after missing out on Gyökeres, and we'll see. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin's certainly fucking, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say that to you. I mean, you can't be in any way, shape or form optimistic about United now, because for me, the words of Omar Barada that we've been planning this transfer window for a long time have just completely and utterly capitulated. Like, it is the 8th of July. We're already back in pre-season. We're heading on the tour in 2 weeks. We haven't even got Mbeumo in. We're not even talking to anybody else. We're not going to replace Onana. We haven't got a striker lined up. We're not going to do anything in the midfield. We can't sell anybody. So this big, important pre-season is basically fucked. We might get players in August like we have done before, but we know how damaging that can be. Mm-hmm. And not only that, whoever you bring in now, they're going to be planned for fourth or fifth or sixth option. So for me, I still think we can buy players. I still think there's an opportunity to rescue a terrible situation, but only to a point. I think the opportunity, if you're marking this transfer window out of 10, I think achieving anything better than a 5 or 6 is impossible now.
Yeah, the next for me, I've always said, end of that first week of pre-season, look, it's important to a degree, but it's mainly fitness tests and a bit of running. They're not really working on anything too much. I've always wanted 3 new signings by the beginning of that first week. I'm mildly confident that Mbeumo will be in by then, but I wanted 3. The sales, I'm disappointed we haven't got rid of anybody yet. At the same time, we need to make money on them. There's no point letting Sancho go and Rashford go and Anthony leave for a loss, because then there's no money generated to buy anybody with it. So it becomes nonsensical for them to go early. So I'd rather be able to buy the right profiles with the proceeds from those sales later in the window than sell them early and buy no one. But they've got to get motoring. And they keep saying that once Mbeumo is done, a striker and midfielder are the next 2 targets. They've got to be of high quality. They've got to be of the quality where we say, okay, I can see progression here. And I think Man United fans, we certainly need it. And I've got a friend who I do shows with, Staffy, that's I always call out for being negative. I'm only having a bit of banter with him. I see the frustration. Said it all along. I've never really disagreed with your views. I'm just a little different in how I approach them, in terms of I wait and see before I go. But I get people's points. I understand the frustrations. I really do. And they've got about 2.5 weeks now to get a couple of players in and a couple of players out to help Ruben. Because for me, the one thing I'm looking at is Ruben going to be hurt by INEOS? Is he going to be hurt? Because if he doesn't get, but again, by the start of the season, these 4 or 5 players that help bring his philosophy to life, we're not going to be much better than last year. It's the same players. And
you can't say he needs a pre-season, which I admittedly backed him for 6 months, saying he needs a pre-season. That pre-season's not happening. Like, people can say, wow, he's had a pre-season, but it's the same players as last year. Like, trust me, the pre-season's not that magical if you don't get the players you need. Like, having a full week with the same players that he only had half a week with last year won't make a big difference, because they're still the same players. The whole point of the pre-season was to have new players to learn his system. Bringing in new players in August when you've missed the pre-season creates the same problem of trying to teach them something when there isn't time.
Just Football here says, what can be done to push owners' sale? Well, the only thing, again, it's I've been through this. I get a lot of death threats for it, because I'm not a top red like people think. The only way to force the owners out is to everyone to pull their money, and that's seen as impossible. I still don't think it is. I think people believe it's impossible. You wouldn't need to just do a complete cull either day one. I mean, you could have started off this. We could have done something this year. Everyone come together that hates each other and go, right, first thing we boycott is, because this is an easy one, because no one loses their season ticket. And I know you respect the international fans like I do. What I don't like is this notion of, I'll give it up because I'm from Salford, or I'll give it up because I'm from England and I understand. But the foreign fans, they'll still just lap it up. I think the foreign fans love the club every bit as much. And I think the first thing we should do is go, right, new kit, full boycott. We put it out there, because straight away Adidas are going to start panicking and they're going to start knocking on the door. And I think you can build up to boycott and everything. And I know it would take, but that's the only way I can see it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not even saying it's 100% possible. But if we this has been my view the whole time. If we just keep buying season tickets, paying for memberships, paying for MUTV, buying the shirts, why would the Glazers sell? Because the value keeps going up. Like, forget we hate them for a minute. Why would you sell something when the customers, as they see us, moan, but keep coming back? It doesn't make any sense. You know, if Mark's viewers go, Mark, you got to change how you present your shows. We hate it. But every day the numbers grow. Why would Mark ever change? It doesn't make any sense. No. So the only way we could, that's always been my view. I don't judge anyone who buys kits or goes to games. That isn't my way. But again, we're not going to get, the protests have a place. Protests will not work. We have to have, it's not tangible enough, because half the time, the owners don't even, do you think the Glazers turn on ESPN and go, oh, they're protesting. Oh, I'm on the beach in Miami. I'm shitting myself. Of course they don't. They go, great. Crack on with it.
Also, as well, like when they get this government funded project up, they've just doubled the value of the club.
Exactly.
And that's even stopping buying the shirt wouldn't stop them on that, because the club value is going to go from 5 billion to 10 billion the minute that gets signed off. And that's going to take 5 years to build. And they're going to live off that for at least 10 years. So you've got 15 years of Glazers in the INEOS at least, unless somebody can stop that regeneration project, in which case I think they'd shit themselves. But apart from that, nothing.
And the thing is, the government isn't going to stop it, because what I've read on
houses.
Exactly. And also it's the kind of, obviously Man United Stadium's not being funded by the taxpayer, but the regeneration is. And the north of the country have been pushing for this. Do you remember the politicians used to do this whole, like, we're going to create northern powerhouses, right, of cities? Yeah. There's so much money in Westminster that the other cities around the country, especially up north, want. And this project is getting money from London and pushing it into Manchester. So every politician and mayor, it doesn't matter what party you're on, is going to push for this in Manchester, because it's not using up lots of their money. It's gaining additional funding from London and from Westminster. And as much as I don't want to get into the politics of it, that's like a massive win for because Burnham can come out and say, I'm the MP that got 3 billion quid from Westminster to regenerate this working class part of Manchester. And it didn't cost you council taxpayers a penny. And that's massive in politics. So it's going to happen. And as I say, Just Football, the only way to stop it is to stop the money on every level going in. The problem is, and I understand it, is that most Man United fans either don't think it will work or are not willing to make the personal sacrifice, which they're entitled to, by the way. But the way I view the world is this. If I drive around in a big engine petrol car, buying lots of plastic, flying on aeroplanes, I own a yacht, I don't recycle, I'm not going to stand there with Greta Thunberg and go, you're amazing, I stand for your cause, because I'm a hypocrite. That's the only thing I'll say to this. I can't fund the club and then moan about how they operate. That's just me personally. But you don't need to believe in what I believe in, because it's a free world. Arsenal, City, Liverpool and Chelsea now years ahead of United, and the gap will only grow. Is that a hot take or a straight fact?
Yeah, I agree.
It's agreed. Terry, sorry to disagree. He was never that good. One big season in 22. Salah does that yearly on the similar wages, not the same level at all. Rashford is not on Salah's level. I agree with you completely. For 40 million, 40 million is doable with Rashford, but 300k wages, way too high, and the way too inconsistent. He's not that good defensively as well. Well, that's why Rio's point that Mark brought up is so important, because it's not the transfer fee that clubs have got an issue with. It's the wages. Hi, Mark and Terry. Hope you're well. Question: how long will it take for United to be back at the top, considering that Liverpool, United and Chelsea are getting stronger and stronger?
You can't. What right have we got to be back on top? Where's Preston North End? They used to be on top of football. They won a lot of league titles. Where are they now? I mean, I think this is the mistake. Life's not fair, as we've seen in much bigger events than this over the last week. So there is no definitive right to get back. And just because we're Manchester United and we have this great history and we love it, there is no, and I think people need to start realizing this, there is no pathway back at the moment. Like, there is nothing to hang your hat on and say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The way things are going, the Champions League is the Super League. In 5 years' time, Arsenal will have made £500 million more than Man United if we don't get in the Champions League and they do. So every year this becomes a bigger problem. And I don't see a pathway back at the moment. So I can't, I genuinely can't, maybe Terry can, I can't give you a timeline because I don't see a way back at the moment. That doesn't mean there isn't a way back, but at the moment, there is nothing I can go, yeah, I can see that. Maybe the stadium in 10 years will make us a lot of money, but in 10 years, you might have lost billions, in which case you'll never find a way back.
I don't think there's a set deadline. I look at it as if we're always going to make mistakes. So I know people want excellence and perfection, but again, if you've ever lived in real life, it's impossible, even in brilliant, well-run companies and clubs. Liverpool make mistakes. Madrid make mistakes, City make mistakes. We're seeing it now where City might be selling Nico Gonzalez, who they just spent 50, 60 odd million on because they've realized he maybe isn't good enough, right? So all clubs make mistakes. But this is one thing I would say to fans. You can't always see the wood for the trees, and some people can't right now. There's things that I've complained about in the last year. Ten Hag Stang was one of them as an example. Ashworth is another one. Some signings that weren't good enough, not doing enough in January, criticize all these things. But it was always going to take a minimum of 3 to 4 years for us to really start seeing the fruits of the labor. And I think too many Man United fans have got it in their head that one good summer and we're back. It's never going to happen. And by the way, that's with any owner. You could get the Qataris to buy us now. It's still going to take 3 to 4 years because you've still got to establish yourself better in the transfer market. And how do you do that, in my opinion? Yeah, I don't care. Nitpick over £1 million to make sure we get the right structure. We need to start letting people know we're hard to deal with. But that means sacrificing the short term. You know, I'd walk away from deals if it's too much money or not enough transfers being. I'd rather not sell Sancho and pay his full wages than bow down to another club. Because every time we bow down, the next negotiation is harder for us. It's going to take so many years to fix 12 years of malpractice. This is the issue. There is no quick solution. So Mark's right. There is no definitive timeline. I can't say it's definitely going to be 4 years. Could be 10. But what we've got to ask for from day one is practices you mean to go on. You can't, the Man United fans saying, just sell the players now, just get rid of them. That's what we've done before and we're fucked. So that's my only message is don't cheat the process, whatever that is. Don't cheat it. You did it with Ten Hag as an example. We took a stupid risk and it set us back another year. Let's not do it again. Where was Berta all these years? Edu lost me with the Sterling deal. Yeah, just such a better sporting director. You can see it at Arsenal already. Gaz here says you're late. We were late going live. Yeah, picking up Mark's habits. Sorry about that. Apologies.